Come with me on a culinary voyage as we explore the highs and the lows of cruise dining, spotlighting the dishes that dazzled my taste buds, as well as those that had me begging for mouthwash. We'll talk about some diverse menus, sharing personal favorites that delighted our senses, and a few we're still trying to erase from our memory. And don't miss out on that one totally unexpected dish that surprised us both and became the standard hero of our cruise dining experience. Now, caveat, our palates, my wife Cheryl and I, our palates are not the same as your palates. We're going to enjoy things you're not going to enjoy. You're going to enjoy things that we don't. This video is telling you about what we enjoy, okay? And, in general, what's considered gourmet, what's considered good, what's considered other. So take this all with a grain of salt. I'm telling you what we like. You might like something totally different, and that's great. That's why there's a variety of food. All right, so cruise dining, luxury versus budget. The cruise line that you're on arguably will affect the food quality. I want to avoid naming names. Let's just say the big cruise lines of the world have a decent food quality in general. Whereas your luxury cruise lines like, Regent Seven Seas and some of those other ones, the food is definitely a step above, a couple of steps above. When planning that cruise, how important is 5-star or Michelin star level dining to you? If it's, I don't want anything lower than a Michelin star. Okay, well then what cruise line you have to go on. Or cruise lines, what category. If that Michelin star experience is a specialty thing, that you want to do every once in a while, but, good food is enough for you, well, then you've got many more options. Do you always get what you pay for? In general, yeah, in my opinion. And it's not just the food, the quality of the food. Obviously all cruise lines have, certain quality expectations and sanitary and they have to meet certain levels. Okay. Yeah. I think I beat that one enough. Ambiance. So the ambiance definitely plays a part, in my opinion, in the quality of the food or the perception of that food. Casual cafe, formal dining room, full tuxedo with, full-length dinner gown versus t-shirt and shorts. It's not just the food itself, it's the presentation, it's the dining room you're in, the restaurant you're in. It all plays into the experience. Appetizers. Cheryl and I have a couple of appetizers that we absolutely love. Calamari, that's one of our favorites. Golden brown, nice and tender. We do not order calamari on the fun ship. We've tried it 4 times across 2 different cruises, and it's come out good once. So we've just kind of realized that that's not where their strength lies. So shrimp cocktail, another one of our favorites. Honestly, it's kind of hard to screw that one up unless the shrimp is bad. And my personal favorite appetizer in all the world, Cheryl hates it, but that's okay, escargot. I've had escargot on 4 different cruise lines now. My opinion, Royal seems to do it the best. They're the most consistently good. Not necessarily the best escargot I've ever had. That was actually at a Gordon Ramsay restaurant in Atlantic City, believe it or not. But they're consistently really good. Okay. Salads. Let's talk about salads. Caesar salad are preferred as long as there's actually lettuce in it and it's not just a bunch of croutons. And again, it's kind of hard to screw it up unless the lettuce is old. Fruit salads, if it's fresh fruit, absolutely delicious to die for. If it looks like it came out of a can, I don't even try it. So stay tuned. The presentation of this entree was shocking. We were both speechless. Now, we'll get into that one in a minute. Soups. We've had some really, really good soups. And then we've had some bouillon. And The lobster bisque we had on Celebrity Reflection. Oh my gosh. To die for. And yes, we've had some soups that we swear were frozen, defrosted, put on a burner to warm up, and served. Entrees. Cheryl doesn't eat a whole lot of steak. She likes, other entrees more. But I had a beef tenderloin, again, on that Celebrity cruise that was mouth-watering, tender. And then I've had some sirloins on the fun ship that were shoe leather. I like my steaks medium rare. There wasn't red within a mile of this. Seafood. A lot of people love to have seafood on a cruise. We do as well. I enjoy lobster night. Cheryl, not so much. Unfortunately, I have to say that Royal is kind of hit or miss with the quality of the lobster on their lobster night. I don't like to bash my favorite cruise line, or arguably my favorite cruise line, but sometimes the lobsters are tender and flavorful and cooked perfectly, and sometimes I want to slap them on my car and use it as a tire. So yeah, enough said about that. Pasta. For whatever reason, I have not found a cruise line that consistently cooks my pasta al dente. And I get it, big, huge kitchen making 500 portions at a time, but I really don't like overcooked pasta. Anyway, sauces. I love freshly made sauces. I don't like store-bought. Well, it wouldn't be a store, but a pre-made, reheated sauce. A lot of times, honestly, I'll get the sauce on the side, whatever kind of sauce it is, and that way I can taste it without it ruining my meal. I'd rather have the chicken or the steak or whatever the sauce is to go on dry and bland than with the bread with the meals. Actually, I was really surprised. The Fun Ship had some of the best freshly baked warm bread of all of the cruises I've been on. That really surprised me just because they're kind of not known for that. But now, having said that, the garlic bread on, what was that? Was that Celebrity? No, Virgin. No, Celebrity. Oh my God. Oh, my wife and I love garlic. So there almost isn't a way to do too much garlic. Sides, honestly, half the time I don't eat the sides because the creamy mashed potatoes or the, whatever chive mashed potatoes, they're not to my liking. Now, the veggies, a lot of times the veggies that come out with, as one of the sides, whether it be, the squash and the carrots or whatever, for whatever reason, they seem to cook. Most of the cruise lines I've been on, they seem to cook them perfectly. A little bit of a crunch, but they're flavorful. So yeah, desserts. Oh, I love my desserts. The chocolate melting cake on the Fun Ship. I want you to tell me if you think it's a masterpiece or a catastrophe. Unfortunately, I'm not a big fan. Now, the fruit tart. I've had, I'm a cheesecake guy. And yes, I know most of those cheesecakes are not made on board, but give me a plain piece of cheesecake and I'll be, New York style cheesecake, and I'll be very happy. Yes, I know it comes out of a box, out of a freezer, but there's just something about it that I absolutely love. Now, let's talk about the ultimate surprise dish, unexpected hero. This is the one, not really a dish, but the one dining experience that was absolutely the best we've ever had on any of our cruises. The test kitchen on Virgin Voyage's Scarlet Lady. The atmosphere was interesting. I'm not so sure that I liked the atmosphere, but the food and the preparations and the interaction with the chefs themselves, it was wild. Absolutely wild. We had mushroom pate. No, it was a memorable experience. All of the food on Virgin was tasty, and I liked their non-main dining room concept to some degree. But the test kitchen stole the show. And I understand why Virgin doesn't allow you to visit the same restaurant for dinner more than once on a cruise because other people want to get there. But honestly, if I had found out that we could go back and that they were doing different menus, each night, we would have gone back probably every night. I could go on, but I'm sure you really don't want to hear all of the details of that. I want your opinion because food is such a personal thing because everybody's taste buds are different but what we're willing to accept as good or good enough differs. I'll be honest with you. I'm super happy having, a guy's burger for lunch every day on a cruise ship. Now, obviously, you know what cruise ship has them, so you can only go on those cruises, but I don't need, gourmet like all the time. So I want to know from your opinion, what was the best meal you had on a cruise ship? And what was the worst meal you had on a cruise ship? I'd like to get your feedback and see what you thought of Test Kitchen, what you thought of the escargot on Royal Caribbean, or what was the worst meal. So yeah, fill me in. So now that you know all about some of the best and the worst food we've experienced on cruise ships, are you ready to make the most of the space in your cabin? Don't miss out on these smart space-saving secrets that are guaranteed to make you more comfortable.